Well, when I'm recording this video, it's the very end of 2025, and 2026 is just a few days away. And the big question that authors should have is, can you really make money selling books in 2026? Hello, my name is Bennett. I have a PhD in social psychology and an undergrad in marketing. For the past 15 years or so, I've been helping thousands of authors publish and market their books. And I can do the same for you through our company, BookMarketing.pro. Now, since it's only 2025, I can't answer that question with certainty, but based on many factors and data points, I could say with confidence, yes. As a self published author, you can make lots of money still in 2026 as a self published author. All right, so how do I know this? Well, I represent over 1,000 authors and I see stats monthly. And I've been seeing stats monthly for over 15 years. These are privileged statistics of over 1,000 authors, self published authors that have a whole variety of books in all different genres. And I get to see how well the books do and how much money they're making month after month after month. So I've got a really good sense of where the industry is, at least when it comes to self-published authors, at least for the last 15 years. And there's really no reason to think that 2026 is going to be much different than 2025. 2024 was actually the year of AI. 2025, AI really caught on, and there were tons of AI books that entered the market. And yes, that did have an effect on sales, because if you think about if there's, let's say, 1 million books in the marketplace, and then thanks to AI, there's now 5 million books in the marketplace. Well, that's five times more books, five times more competition. But it's not that one-to-one scale, because usually books that have some kind of track history and are written by real people with reputations and names in the industry, well-known names in the industry, then they will always do significantly better than some ghost-written AI book. So 2025 is a pretty good indicator of 2026. I don't foresee or anticipate much difference there in the industry, if any. So I'm judging by the stats and the sales from 2025. All right. So let's look at the 1,000 authors number, and this is just an estimate. I think it's even more than that, but let's just say I work with 1,000 different authors. Now, out of those authors, how many actually do you think earn a full-time income or enough to justify a full-time income? Go ahead, I'll give you a second to think about it. Out of 1,000, how many authors that I represent earn enough for a full-time income? The answer is two. In my opinion, again, what's a full-time income? That's debatable. But think about that. That's not very promising that only two self-published authors out of 1,000 are actually earning enough for a full-time income. They do this full-time. They have multiple books, and that's why there are so few of them. I think it's just really a full-time gig for them. They were a couple of the lucky ones that actually managed to find the right niche, and their books caught on, and for whatever factors, they're doing very well. So let's forget about those, because that's, again, if you want your chances to be 1 in 500 that you're going to be one of those, it's an opportunity. The chance is there. It's yours for the taking, but it's not statistically that probable. What about the like making over, say, $500 a month? Now, you're not going to retire on $500 a month, but that's a pretty darn good uh, income, a nice residual income, especially if your book is what they call evergreen. That means it's not based on some like current event, and it's going to be in demand year after year after year after year. So if you have an income over $500 and you have one or more of those books giving you that kind of income, that is pretty darn good. And those are the type of people and authors that many people aspire to be. They kind of realize that, yeah, becoming like a Harry Potter author, J.K. Rowling or whatever, that's kind of like hitting the lottery. And yeah, it is. But making 500 bucks a month, no, that's like the scratch off tickets, maybe getting a few that match. It's not impossible, not probable, but not impossible. So in my experience with our authors, I would say about 1% of the authors make that much. So we're talking about 10 authors out of 1,000 that make $500 a month or more. Okay, again, that's a small percentage, but whatever. Now we get to the 5%. I use this number a lot, like 95% of the authors really don't do well. 5% of the authors are successful or do well. So what do I mean by that? I'm thinking like 100 bucks a month. Making $100 a month, especially off just a single book, that is pretty good. You could say that that's a successful book. And I would say about 5% of the authors. So now we're getting pretty good in terms of odds. We're talking about 1 out of 20 authors. Not the best, but if it were really easy, everybody would do it. So, and everybody doesn't do it, obviously. So that's why we have about 1 in 20. So if you want to just get some good extra income for spending money every month, something that's going to last you a lifetime, pretty much, um, that's a very, very reasonable goal as a self-published author. But what does this mean? This means that 95% of authors make less than $100 per month. And really, I would say probably 50% of the authors make practically nothing. Now, let me say that again. 50% of the authors, half the authors, make practically nothing. They may sell like 1 or 2 books to a family or a friend, and that's it. Um, that's not very good, and it's discouraging, especially when you spend so much time writing the book. But I could say with confidence that pretty much everybody in that group has done close to zero promotion. And I don't understand why. I don't understand how somebody could spend months, maybe even years writing a book and then not spend like $250 to promote the thing, to get it going, to get it so people could start reading it. That is so important to do. And yet it's incredibly difficult to convince the clients that publish with us to put some money into marketing just to get it out there, get people to read it. Try to go for that organic growth. For some reason, maybe they just don't have the money, they don't have the confidence maybe that their book is going to do well, and it just kind of sits there languishing on the virtual bookshelves. So the goal is to actually hit a market, hit some kind of market that does well. Again, sometimes you could purposely write a book for a specific market, but most times what you're doing is you're writing a book, something you know where your expertise is. Maybe if you're a fictional writing writer, some kind of idea and story you had in your mind, and you just write it, and who cares where it ends up? See what happens. And that's kind of like when I talk about the writing for a passion. That's what I'm referring to. So, can you really make money selling books in 2026? Yes, you can. What are the odds? Well, if we're talking about $100 per month off of a book or two that you actually publish, you got about a 1 in 20 chance of doing that. Um, Not very good, not terrible, especially if you're watching this video again, and if you're into marketing and if you're learning about marketing, then you're you have an advantage. Out of the 19 people in that group that aren't going to make money, you're probably on the higher end, closer to getting to that 5% of people who will. So keep that in mind. Don't give up. If you really like the book industry, stick with it. And I do certainly believe, of course, that it is worth it, both intellectually and for at least some people financially.